Hey everybody. I thought I would do a Great Awakening video for a Great Awakening update for the month of May and see the energies that we're looking at in May. So May could be a very big month. Okay, so we've had some big discussions going on over in the Daily Boost videos. I know I've got everybody's wheels spinning and over on Instagram. The awakening just never stops. There's more and more and more information all the time to have to digest, and then you hear something new, and just try to keep a really open mind and try not to spiral into fear as you have like epiphanies and you're like, oh, I could see where that was a trick, or I could see where this is true, or that might not be true, or whatnot. But always navigating with a sense of almost being the observer while you go through it. I teach some exercises and recommend some products in the Daily Boost video a few days ago that was posted a few days ago. If you guys are in the Daily Boost, you can watch that video and get some help in case you do have to digest something that's tough to kind of process. Um, I don't know if I should I get into it now, God? I get a yes. Really? Do I have to? Yes. All right. I read a book called The Stolen Identity. Yes. You keep getting encouragement. Speak it. Say it. All right, fine. Okay. Thank you. Oh. God's like, you're the empress. Do it, girl. Do it. Ah, crap. Okay. I don't read that book unless you're ready to be scared out of your mind and terrified. It's like the worst horror movie ever. I couldn't even put the book down. I mean, I pretty much read it cover to cover, and I read it late at night, and I was up until 6 in the morning, and I felt traumatized from it. It was like enthralling, and enthralling in a way of like just um the book is about who I believe to be the real JFK Jr. Uh he's not he's not he's not who you think he is. He's not who you think he is. And the poor guy has just gone through hell his whole life, just like they do to anybody famous. He's known all kinds of celebrities. He's even been in some films and stuff. Um, he's just a poor, traumatized guy that's been put through freaking hell and back. If you think you've been through something, man. Ah, so here are some points of what I gathered some things from the book because it was very hard to go through. I did it to get whatever I could from it to bring to you guys to just I think I'm like a I I'm kind of a buffer for you guys in a way. Sometimes it's easier hearing something from somebody else to digest than to have to go going through what I went through reading it, which was not fun. You feel so bad for the guy. You just feel so bad for the guy. Like you just can't believe he would be treated like that. Like it's awful, just horrible, horrible. And at some point, I was like, okay, I get the gist of this. I think I'm gonna skip to the end where he gets to kind of like the point about some things. Okay, so here are some things I gathered from it, and I listed them on Instagram too. If you're on my Instagram, you can check that out. So here's some of the things that he says. Take them with a grain of salt, okay? To also consider this as coming from a very terrified man who has not been in the loop about he didn't even know about the plan for a long time until he actually got on Facebook and he wanted to start speaking out about who he was. And some people made comments about how they were like, well, we're just supposed to just trust the plan. We have the Q and the Great Awakening and blah, blah, blah. And he just like, his hackles went up and he was like, no, that's the Illuminati. It's the Illuminati that created that plan. It's a fake plan. It's a fake awakening. And he's like, it's just so that nobody does anything. It's so people sit around waiting for like eating popcorn, watching a movie and not doing a thing about any of it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then he says that Reagan, a long time ago, said that if you really want to get the United States, you're going to invade from the north and from the sides on the coast, and you're going to drive them all down to a trap on the coast or on the border of Mexico and Texas, basically. They just drive them all down there like a herd drive, like herding cattle or something. They think we're chattel anyway. So just herd them all down there, erect a fence, erect a wall that they cannot get through, and create a genocide. Just kill everyone, just drive them all there and then jump on them. And I was like, oh my God. He says that Trump is a double, that he's not who he, it's not the original guy. The original guy died. Diana died. Like, not just gonna get resurrected later, like she's been put under, like what we've been told. Like, some of these people who died have been put somewhere safely in a program, and then they're going to come out and ta-da later. He said that almost all those people you've heard about actually did die. They're gone. So when they come up with all these people again, and they all get suddenly resurrected, and there are a bunch of doubles, he says that they're not the real people. Certainly not JFK Jr. And JFK Jr. died too, for sure. He's seen all of it himself. He's seen them die. He was shown their deaths and was actually there on some of them. So for many of them, the poor guy has seen so much. He's like, no, I saw them die. There's so many different things to it, because we know the med beds can resurrect somebody, and maybe he didn't see that part or whatever. I don't know. But, and I know the bad guys have had a plan all along, but here's the thing he also said, though. He said, even though they use some kind of tool, and he didn't even know what it was called, Project Looking Glass is what we know it as. He said, even though they have some kind of tool to look into the future and see that all the possible endings for things, he said, and none of the endings were winnable. None of them were winnable. But even despite that, they devised this massive plan to try, And I was like, oh my gosh. So then when you get information like that, you have to recalculate everything you've thought up until now. Okay, so it does make sense. All of it does make sense, but then you have to like view it through a different lens momentarily and try to stay detached from it. Try to stay as neutral as possible. Digest it as best you can. And if you have anxiety, I just want to offer up this real quick little tip. Thank you, Ed. And Ed, if you're watching this, please contact me. Please forgive yourself and contact me, because I learned this information from Ed. If you have a massive anxiety attack or panic or PTSD or any of that stuff, and you get scared out of your mind sometimes, I know this sounds really funny, but pop your little toes. like if this is your, there's your joint right here, it kind of bends right there. Use a cloth, like a washcloth or a t-shirt or anything that can give you a bit of a grip. Grab your smallest toe. Well, you could do this with all your toes. It would be very beneficial, but grab your smallest toe, turn it down, grab it and pull it. And do that with each of your toes on the left and on the right. Crack all of them. I mean, you're not cracking them. You're actually pulling them out. It's a totally different thing. It's actually good for you. But you have to do it the right way. You don't just crack down, you crack out and from the joint, straight out. Do that. And if your toe cracks, then part of your anxiety might have been that you were misaligned in that way, because he taught me that if either of those toes are out of whack, you can put yourself into a mental hospital over it. Like, and so that was just a quick little side note for any of you. Okay, so you just digest the information as best you can. Don't go into a state of fear. Don't assume the worst. Don't panic. You just reassess everything. So what does this mean? And I was like, they better just come out with the truth, because right now everything is about becoming totally, completely transparent and authentic. That is the name of the game right now. And that's how they develop trust. So if Mr. T tries to come on the scene with the fake JFK Jr., that's going to be a serious red flag. That is going to be why? Why would you bring a double? You're already a double. Why are you bringing in another double just to reinforce a fake story, an untrue story? That's what we've had all along. That's what we're getting away from. Full disclosure is actually having the real person there to share his story. And the other thing that kind of bothers me about that is that, why didn't the white hats or the good guys, why didn't they go reassure him? Why did they let him suffer for so many years and not let him know that there's a plan? An actual, even if there was an evil plan by the Illuminati, okay? Even if there was that one originally, why didn't they, when they took it over, because we know that a lot of we're told that, because we don't know, we just go by what we hear, because who do we know that's actually involved in any of this? I mean, one-on-one. They were, we know that, or we've been told that the bad guys' plans were interrupted and that the good guys came on in and took over. So of course they would take over all those plans, and that they've been letting it play out so that we could all see what they were up to, right? But that's also a really good way to trick us all to our demise. It's perfectly orchestrated, and this is a psychological operation. So I have to say that it was alarming to hear this information. I swear to God, man, if he comes out with a fake JFK Jr. and says, "Hey, we're coming into these wonderful times," I'm going to be like, "Oh my God!" The first thing I'm going to think is that stupid wall that everyone's going to try to run to and get out of here. But I also know that it's not winnable. Project Looking Glass proved no matter how they tried, they were not going to win. So is the big scare actually just a movie playing out, or is it their last attempt, the evil people's last attempt to take us over? Either way you look at it, here's the most important takeaway, okay? Like I always say, and I always come back to this, because I've been enlightened and I know it to be the only fact I know on the planet, irrefutably. There's nobody that could argue with me and say enlightenment is not real and that it's not of God. It is God. It is absolutely what we're all here to do. So be present in the moment. However you need to, get past any fear that comes up. Acknowledge it, though. Don't go into denial and act like, "Oh, that's just impossible. That's not going to happen." It's all, you have to consider, you got to open our eyes, take the scales off of our eyes and be willing to see the truth and contemplate it. At least that's a mark of intelligence, to be able to take in and assimilate new information and see if that makes more sense than what you've known before. Even, I don't care who you are, what kind of beliefs you have. I think at this time especially, and I pray all the time, thank you, God, for showing me the truth in all things. And then even when I went through that, I was like, okay, all right, so that rocked some of my foundation a little bit. All right, that knocked me a little bit. But then I thought, well, what is my real foundation then? What is my real foundation? What am I putting my faith in? What am I putting what gives me strength? My consciousness. That's why they try to take it. My faith, my love, my heart, my soul. That's what they can't take away unless we buy into their stories, unless we buy into the fear. And I do feel that this guy, the real one, I do feel he has since been reassured. Like when his book came out or something, somebody got smart and said, we better talk to him. We better let him know. Now if he comes up dead, then I'm going to be like, what the heck, man, what is going on? So, but so far that hasn't happened that I know of. They've tried to kill him so many times, it's ridiculous. And he's lived through it all. I mean, obviously he's here for a purpose. And I think it's to prove this. I think it's to be here for this. And it's to just reveal that everything's always been a lie. Like he didn't even know who his real mom or dad or sister or brother or anybody was, because they were swapped out all the time with doubles. He was like, the last time I think I saw my sister, I think we were like 10 or 11. I think that's when the other one came in, and she seemed to be busy with activities all the time. I couldn't really tell if that was her or not for sure, and it was just like, holy crap, so I don't know. It's yeah, I wouldn't necessarily recommend the book just because it's if you want to wake up to the terrors of of it all, then by any means, but please don't go into a state of fear and stay conscious. And I'm warning you of how difficult it is to read. I'm warning you of that right now. It'll I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, it'll shake you. It'll shake you. What else does he say? That was my favorite part, though. That even though it's completely unwinnable. So, but here's also what gives me faith is that there are all these incredible things happening right now that are proving that abundance is right on the horizon. This revaluation that's happening. And you see people's debts being forgiven, seemingly. If any of you have actually had your debts forgiven or mortgages dismissed or any of that, if you have a personal experience, please share it below in the comments. But I've actually had people share that with me, told me that, they had this and that dismissed or discharged or whatever. There's a story of somebody going in to make arrangements with the IRS and just to find out that they were like, we've been taken over by the Department of Treasury. There is no IRS anymore. You're dismissed. And the guy was like, oh my gosh, just elated. Like, thank you, God. But it's funny that they would bring him in there to tell him that one-on-one. But that's what we've got is just rumors right now. We've got people sharing their personal experiences and our relationships with those people. So, but the most important thing, as I said, is to stay present in the moment and try to be the observer of whatever you're reading, whatever you're watching, whatever you're doing. And we're making it our own awakening. And I believe that we are creating the timeline we are choosing to be on by what vibration we're putting out there. So you have to keep choosing love. You have to keep having faith. You have to keep saying, I am looking for the proof. If you're looking for lies and you're looking for deceit, that's all you'll see out there. Okay. It's true. If you're always thinking somebody's out to get you, you're always thinking, you're looking for negative things. You'll find it everywhere you go, everywhere that you look. Every magazine you pick up, you're going to look at them. You're going to notice the most negative thing on there. So we have to be training ourselves to navigate this to love, and keep going toward love. And keep choosing love. And love, what is love? It's your presence. And it's just being completely authentic like I'm being right now. I admit to being pretty terrorized by that book. I do. I admit it. It shook me. Okay. I'm not infallible. But I've been drawing cards on it and I put them on Instagram for you guys. If you guys want to look at my Instagram, you'll see what the cards were. And they were They really kind of showed that he wrote a lot of what he wrote because he was assuming, because he was pretty terrified and he was unhealed. But things have been remedied now somehow. So I think, like I said, I think the good guys finally reached out to him and reassured him that things are in good hands now, and I do believe, we've heard the military is everywhere. Almost every state is in a state of alert. They're in an emergency crisis mode right now. So, they're ready to take action, and the military is supposed to be there for us, for the people, and that's why we're in martial law right now. Nobody knows, but so can we just skip all this part, please, God? Can we just get to the part where we're totally safe and we know that everything's good? But there is a lot of really incredible news coming with all of the whole global reset and all of that stuff. I really feel like the way that everything's going gold backed, and the way that everything is being revalued and everything's balancing out in bricks, I think is a very positive thing. Everybody going back to common law and the original Constitution and everything is just, those are all incredibly positive things. And that would not be happening. You got to go like, oh, is that a trick though too? And they're not actually going to go back to that or whatever, your mind starts doing that. But that's where you got to meditate, and you have to you're never going to win using your mind. You're only going to win if you go into your heart, and you can only pay attention to your heart, feel your heart by being present. By truly being present, you almost have to let go of all thoughts to actually see clearly. So putting your hand on your heart, always remember to do that. I love you even when you're scared. I love you even when whatever, when you watch or read or whatever you do that shakes us up. I love you even when, I love you even when you're whatever, just always remember that you've got that tool too to help you, and be guided by your heart and your heart only. Do not listen to your head. That's where the demons play around with you. That's where they get a hold of your ego. They start spinning you out. Okay, so anything else about that? I do believe, and I'm choosing to believe, that even though this may look really scary like that, it may look like something's going to happen. I'm hanging on to that belief that it's unwinnable. Whatever we have to face or whatever we have to do, we have to stand strong. We have to be brave. We have to absolutely stand up against it in peace. Okay? In peace and in love, we insist we are God's children. We cannot be harassed. We cannot be put in a state of fear. So you got to keep coming back to that no matter what you hear. You have to know that God has the ultimate last word. So, in fact, let's take a look at some God cards. And then we're going to read some of these other cards real quick. All right. Ah! Nothing can stop my plan for your life. Nothing can stop God's plan for your life. Nothing. And presence will save your life. Being present, staying in the moment. What's that guy's name? Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeves says that when he became handicapped, he said, I became handicapped because I wasn't in the moment for a moment. That's what he says. I did it because it happened because I wasn't in the moment. So if you can stay moment, keep yourself calm, stay in the moment, everything will work out somehow. All right. You got this. God says you got this. Above all else, guard your heart, for all you do flows from it. So, and then the dark side has been attacking people's hearts a lot lately. They're putting depression on people, and and there's a card about, I'm your shepherd. I will lead you every step of the way onto the right path. So just follow. You can't listen to your heart if you're too caught up in your head. Crack your toes. Do breathing exercises, do Byron Katie or whatever you need to do. Trust me, I know everything. If that not says so much, God says, trust me, I know everything, all of it. You think he's going to let there be like a 85% disclosure happen? No, no, he's going to make sure all of us knew all of it. Okay, rehearse your past victories to encourage your spirit and strengthen you to fight the present battle, and you'll come out on top. No one can steal my promise to you. Again, I have a promise for you, and I have a plan for you. Nothing's going to stop that. We've heard that twice. Whatever I give you, I know you can handle. So it's not going to be beyond what we can handle. We are going to win, whatever this is. Whatever scare this is, whether it's a movie or it's real, we're going to win it, period. You will be richly rewarded for your perseverance through your long suffering. So we do have abundant times coming. I am still in control. I am still in control. Wow, you got this. You got this. I've given you all you need to succeed was the card right behind that. Well, there you go. Virgo. All right. So let's look at the gateway of light activation. And remember, like I said, you're always manifesting whatever path you're going to be on. People, I mean, you hear all kinds of stories about, all the timelines and things. Things are pretty cattywampus right now. It's like when I look at people on a grid, it's like everybody's just spread all over the place. Like so many people are in so many different intersections. You can go so many different directions with this all. So if you're doing energy work, just keep creating what it is that you want to see in this world. It won't fail you. This is like it's like a what do you call it? Like a money grab almost. Like it's like one of those machines you go in, whatever you can grab that's flying all over the place, that's what you get to keep. You're picking and choosing what things you want to hold on to. What do you want to see in your future? Peaceful people, harmony, everyone's okay. Med beds. Grab all of it that you can and put it here and hold on to that with all your might. That's what you're going to manifest. So if you're believing all the scary stuff and you're just like hunkering down in a bunker somewhere, then you might go through some pretty scary things. But if you're like, truly actually full of hope and excited about our future and what we're creating, then you're gonna see that come to fruition. All right. Lemurian light seed codes. No, Lemurian seed codes. That's funny. Embracing sensitivity. I gotta use this. Okay. Embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, and living with grace. All right. Let's see what the book says. Lemurian seed codes. It's getting dark in here. And let me pause this. I don't want to waste your time. Hang on. Okay. Lemurian seed codes. Lemuria was a civilization that was in the middle of the Pacific Ocean in ancient times. The inhabitants of this sacred land lived in complete harmony with nature and had a connection with every living being, similar to the movie Avatar. Their inner vision was fully activated to the point where it is thought that their pineal gland was fully developed and they could see for hundreds of miles in every direction in a similar way to the sonar of dolphins and whales. Wow. The majority operated from their heart. Let's see, is that the same one? Yeah. From their heart space, honoring one another in nature, so much so that when their civilization came to an end through a cataclysmic event, most likely the earth shifting, causing volcanic eruptions and a tsunami, most of them ascended. It is said that these highly attuned beings knew that their civilization would end and decided to send healing waves into another part of the world for future civilizations to benefit from. They telepathically channeled their frequencies into a thought form that would become crystals that would be found thousands, possibly millions of years later. These Lemurian seeds are a type of quartz crystal mostly found in Brazil and Colombia. They are powerful crystals with striations similar to barcodes engraved on their faces. They have a feminine receptive energy that is said to help us step into a more feminine way of being in order to help the evolution of the species. So, to connect, visualize yourself on an island surrounded by pale blue waters, living in harmony with all living beings. If you own a Lemurian seed crystal, hold it in your left hand, calling out to the ancient ones of Lemuria and inviting them to share their wisdom. Your message is, you are a highly sensitive being. You might feel that this is a curse, but this card is here to let you know that it's a gift. It indicates that you have spent lifetimes upon lifetimes living with a giant shield up to stop the world seeing the real you, but you are a highly unique soul with incredible gifts that are worth sharing. Through embracing your uniqueness, you can help many others embrace their own. This lifetime is a more graceful existence with less defense and more trust. It's not about protecting yourself, but stepping into the space of surrender and revealing your true self. So again, about authenticity, about being completely authentic and transparent, and surrender. That you keep going back to that book, Letting Go. When I was kind of going through an emotional roller coaster when I was reading that book, one of the things I did, I found that I tried the next day, I tried to distract myself with watching some things that would get my mind off of it, kind of thing. And my heart was pounding out of my body. It was like, and I was just like, shut up, shut up. I'm trying to watch the show. And I was like, stop it. And I was trying to like ignore it away. And then I was like, what are you doing, Amy? What are you doing? And I stopped, I paused and I said, all right, I'm going to let you have the stage, And I just said, all right. So the whole gist of the book, Letting Go, is that you feel the feelings, but you don't attach to any thoughts about it. So what I did was I just labeled every feeling that I was having. I was labeling them. So I went terror, and then I go the sadness, fear, vulnerability, panic, and so every feeling that came up, I just would label it and just let myself feel it. And my body was, and I was just feeling it all alone, don't know what to do, confused, conflicted, everything that I was going through, every single feeling, I was just feeling it completely. And then lighter feelings started to surface and I was like, oh, okay. So it's only necessary to identify the negative feelings. The positive ones, I mean, they're already there and they're great. So then it was like uncertain, again, vulnerable, and then guilty, for it shaking my faith. All these different, like less extreme. They were like this, and then my heart was beating a little slower. Things started to calm down, and I kept letting them just be there and validating them without thinking anything. So, but just letting them be there. Okay. And just labeling the feeling. There's that feeling. There's that feeling. There's that feeling. And I just let it roll, just kept letting it come out, because they teach in the book, they teach you why that's really important. And it essentially, you can unravel years and years and years of suppressed feelings and emotions and help you to see clearly and help you see the truth eventually when you sort through it all. You're not sorting through it. You're allowing it all out. You're just letting your heart have its way. At the end of it, I felt a lot more peaceful. I felt calmed down, and I just told my heart, I'm so sorry I put you through that. I love you so much. Everything's going to be okay no matter what. We got this. So that's one way that you can deal with it. But just be authentic, both with yourself and everybody that you know. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to feel things. Don't be afraid to just be yourself, because it inspires everyone else to be able to do the same thing. And there's nothing worse than feeling like you're going crazy by yourself and nobody's there for you because you don't feel like you can open up and say something about it and get the help you need, you know? Maybe you have a friend that needs that. Maybe you have a friend that's just panicking or just scared to death. And you're sitting there going, oh, I've got total faith and everything's going to work out just fine or whatever. And they don't feel they can talk to you because you always have this, this filter up or this, I don't know, what are they going to do with that? It's not like they can confide it. You're not like, hey, I'm a safe space for you. I get scared too. If you ever want to come to me and just be held or just be in my space, because I have a lot of faith, then just come on over. You know what I mean? You're saying, oh, I'm just fine. You should be fine too. I don't know what's wrong with you that you have an issue. We gotta be compassionate. We have to be full of grace and be there for each other because somebody might be suffering and you don't even know. The demons are going after people trying to get them suicidal. They always are doing that. Suicide, depression, heartache, and guilt, I would say, are the major things the demons are attacking everybody on right now and getting them to feel unsafe, God just said. So we need to do the opposite. We need to get ourselves to feel safe however we need to. We need to feel joy. We need to look forward to things. We need to dream. We need to get excited. We need to go on Pinterest and make a dream board of everything we want to have happen. We need to meditate on it. We need to quiet our minds. We need to not listen to our heads, and we need to listen to our hearts. As always, dolphins. Yay! Dolphins. Dolphins are my best friend right now. All right. Live joyfully in the present moment. No way. Live joyfully in the present moment. Oh my gosh, was that not the perfect? Thank you, dolphins. This is so funny because I just did, how I do like energy clearings on the world every day. Today, I swear to God, today I had a conversation with the dolphins. And here they are, like, making my point with me. That's so sweet. Thank you guys. You guys are so awesome. Okay. I love dolphins. All right. Let's see. Dolphins originate from Lakame, the ascended aspect of Sirius, and carry the keys and codes of the highest frequency time in Atlantis. Their gift is to pass these into the oceans with joy and lightness so that anyone swimming can receive them. Despite being highly evolved, certain Atlanteans who held the sacred crystal technology that powered that continent caused its downfall. They were given the opportunity to earn redemption by taking dolphin bodies so they could safely store the technology but not use it. To watch over them, some angels of Atlantis took dolphin bodies. What? All this karma ended in 2012. What? Where do you find information like that out? Like, where did these guys get this information? Now all dolphins are wonderful healers. They raise the frequency of people to enable them to restore their own divine perfect health blueprints. They also bring through the gold ray of Christ at a ninth dimensional frequency to light up the waters with higher love and teach echolocation. The importance of dolphins is such that an army of sharks, whales, rays, and turtles protect the sacred information they carry. The guidance. The wisdom of the dolphin card reminds you that you are a special, highly evolved being. Did you hear that? Throughout your long soul journey, you may have been faultless. You may not have been faultless. No one has, but this is past. You are now a light bearer carrying sacred geometric keys and codes from this and other universes. So dance and play. Do what makes your heart happy. Your task is to lighten up and be joyful and gracious as you spread your wisdom. Bring through the gold ray of Christ and you will automatically heal others. Also, know that no one is perfect, so keep your heart open with understanding and forgiveness. It's that grace. And my phone just went ding. So that's confirmation. All right. So I feel like we should look at some surrender cards, and I think this is a lot longer than I was expecting it to be. So, all right, what do we need to surrender in the month of May, God? What do we need to surrender in the month of May? What do we need to surrender? And it's getting dark. I'm having to use a little light on my magnifier. You can't really tell because that light over there, but okay. Surrender to trust. Oh my gosh. Trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. There you go. Don't lose your head. Take action and be confident that you've chosen the right path. Okay, so we're being called up to be confident and take action according to our own intuition and what we're trusting in and what we believe. Surrender defensiveness. Defensiveness is a sign of weakness. To communicate in a more empowered way, stay centered and hear someone out, then offer a clear, non-defensive response. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I guess that's both of those. 3. Okay. Surrender to the beauty of the natural world. Take a relaxing break and spend time in nature. Replenish yourself by feeling the beauty and the ecstasy there. So go out in nature. Surrender to success. You are ready to experience abundance. Yay! Don't look back at previous roadblocks or difficulties. Leap into an exciting new world of possibilities. There's some confirmation that we're coming into abundant times, that Nasara is rolling out. Surrender your need to always be right. Give others the gift of letting them be right. By yielding, not rigid, this will help resolve conflicts and improve your relationships. Yeah. Even like that, that attitude that I was talking about. Well, I always knew everything was going to be just fine. Like, that's so off-putting, well, good for you. Good for you, but we all know that you have your own ego behind the scenes that, that you get scared on or that you have trouble or trip over. You're not a perfect person. And that's not what we're here to portray. We are here to portray what it looks like to actually live authentically and unapologetically be ourselves. That means admitting that you too are afraid, even if it's not about this or whatever. You're afraid of certain things in your life. You have your certain insecurities. You have, things that you do that kind of trip yourself up, your own blockages. Everybody does. And if you were enlightened, you wouldn't have to say words like that. You would never have to put something like that in somebody's face. You would never have to put yourself above somebody else and make yourself well, I'm better than that because I never would have blah, blah, blah. That's total ego. So that in itself is proving you're not even close to enlightened. So have grace for others and be encouraging people to be authentic and to be themselves, because we're coming to a time where Babylon is completely crumbling, you guys. Everybody's going to be falling apart. They're not going to know what to think, and these bankers that don't know anything about the revaluation, about the currency reset, about everything becoming gold backed, about the new US Treasury notes. Just like with all the other stuff, it's like people are so clueless. But there's going to be a time. Am I right? We are going to have this, this big reveal, right? Yes, I get a yes. So there's going to be a time though where they're freaking out. Oh my gosh, everything I've thought up until this point was wrong. Why didn't I have Steve's tarot? Steve's love tarot is going to eat his words. Every time he makes fun of conspiracy theorists, I'm just like, dude, that you're going to crash on your face. When all this happens, you're going to not. His ego is going to be so completely bruised. You should never take sides like that and just sit there and try to point a finger at the other side and say that they're crazy. Do not do that. And I'm saying that for your sake, because when you realize the truth, or what if you were like a total pro Mr. T until you just found out that he's a double, it's not even him. And that, JFK's son is saying that, no, it's the Illuminati, it's the bad guys doing all of this. Be willing to admit you're wrong, Be willing to change your mind. Flat Earth or round Earth? Who the hell knows? Or is it actually a, what is it called? I was going to say tetrahedron or something like that, but it's not. And it's like, I don't know. I can't think. Oh, Taurus. It's a Taurus, right? Whatever it is, don't have such a strong stance about it because you'll probably be proven wrong. We're probably all going to be wrong about so many things. So just be fluid, be flowy, be supportive, be kind to each other, be gracious, tell somebody, I could be wrong. You could be wrong. It doesn't really matter. Let's just be there for each other when we find out the truth, and stay open to the possibility whatever truth we find out may not be the truth either. Like if they bring out the fake JFK Jr., is that the truth? Is that really, really the truth though? Mr. T, is that really you? Or are you just an actor playing Mr. T? Okay. So I'm just saying. Surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in. Compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. Because we may be having discussions with people, some of these divine masculines might start coming forward when all this comes out. There's just going to be a massive healing. There's just going to be a big, massive healing when all of this comes to light. And we need to just be kind. We just need to be an example of just being kind to one another. That's really all we need to focus on, I think. Okay, so let's just look at one more deck. The Sword of Light. Archangel Michael is with you. Archangel Michael is with you. So you are protected. You are looked after. We are looked after. Your vibration is rising. This is a time of great spiritual growth for you. You're evolving to occupy a higher energy frequency. And sometimes that means we go back to look at, sometimes it feels like, I just said this to the Daily Booster, sometimes you feel like you're going backwards, but you're never going to forget the knowledge that got you here in the first place. So all you're really going to do is go back to clean it up and react to it differently this time, and then level up, even shoot forward another 10 feet. So we're always being catapulted forward when we're willing, when we can revisit things of the past and heal it properly and take a good look, a good, brave, courageous look at it, and face it. And then we fix it. And then we catapult we even develop more abilities and everything. Okay. Be the real you. Yes. Admitting your fears and everything. Your greatest power comes from being who you truly are. Don't let anyone sway you from expressing your authentic self. Why? Because it's the most important thing. There's this thing going around on Instagram of some guy who tested even is love the highest vibration there is? And no, it was actually being authentic, being yourself, having the courage to be yourself. Courage is like the gateway. So I showed you guys 3 weeks back, 3 or 4 weeks back, I think, a vibrational scale of the worst you could be at. You're really on your face on the ground here. And then you go all the way up to the top, the highest thing, the tipping point to where you go from having kind of a shitty life where it's all negative and all just, oh my gosh, doesn't anything ever work out for me? The thing that makes the difference between being in these negative states or being in these positive states is courage. Start to have courage to look at yourself, courage to admit things to yourself, courage to make changes for yourself, courage to go against the flow, courage to say something that, could get you in trouble or could ruffle feathers or could whatever the threat would be. Okay. Open up your spiritual gifts. And I just said you might get some spiritual gifts and some leveling up coming up here. Remember that your true nature is spiritual, not physical. The angels are sending you messages to guide your soul's growth. This is a blissing in disguise. Yay! Be patient and have faith that your angels have this situation under control. What will come is far better than you dare to dream. I love it. Your prayers are being answered. Yay! Your prayers are being answered by the divine. Answers will come soon, although perhaps in forms you didn't expect. So stand your ground, you guys, and keep the faith. Do not be rocked, unless you want to be. Be strong. Keep your faith. Stay present. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be lonely. It's okay to be depressed. But always remember, too, to say those words. Demons are trying to get me to be, something is trying to get me to be, don't take that on as who you are. That's not you, making you stumble along your path at all. That is not you. That is demons trying to pose as you. So don't fall for it. For those of you who know the prayer that I've given the daily boosters, you guys, or in private sessions, use that all the time. Use that all. It's very, very powerful. So let me do a blissing right now to protect all of us, to keep us on the very best and highest timeline possible, and keep laughing, guys. Laughter is the key to everything. It is the evil's worst enemy. Laugh your butts off and know that we are going to win. We've already won. We already have the victory. So we just have to have faith to follow that through, no matter what scary things come. Okay. So yeah, and I just heard somebody applauding. So all right, we're gonna make it through. We're gonna do it. But now we're a little bit smarter. Now we are a little bit more clever with that new information. And so we got a good eye on, and we can, look out for each other and let each other know about this information as well. I mean, that's what this is about, is us helping one another, connecting with one another, making bonds, sticking together. We're like an extended family here, So reach out to each other. Reach out in the comments. All right. And I have a forum. Nobody seems to be using it. I don't know why. But feel free to start a conversation in the forum and try to connect with other people from other states and get some conversation going so you guys can make some friends. I think everybody's just shy or something. If it's not working, you better let me know so that I can do something about it. I can have somebody work on it. Oh man. I've been kind of glad because I'm like, I don't know if I wanted to moderate it, that's going to be like another thing on my list of things to do. But anyway, I'm just saying that's there for you if you want to use that. So, all right. Everybody just relax, drop your shoulders, and I'm going to do a blissing to help you all in whatever you need through this time. Got a cat tail. We got a cat tail. Cute, cutie. All right. Shishi no tarasa sem wo hoin. Tatatansa hein. Chuchinchi. You want to come here? Oh, my girl. She's my baby. What you doing? What you doing, cutie? She didn't go very far. Shishi na taratatensa sase huai ke ina truteten tahi ai. Tatacha shishi no tatatatatan se pipi pepe 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 tichichin tatasa sasa sasa titoton ton tan chiki on tatatatan se tutu chin 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 chichichi pupu pepe he na trokutatan tan sa chichichi washa 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 wa tatatatata chichichi papa pepe 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 kwakitata chichichi pupu pepe 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 I don't know if you guys experienced anything, but that made me a little lightheaded. All right, so you guys have a beautiful day, morning, afternoon, weekend, and go have some fun. Go have some fun and relax. And yeah. All right. Sending you a big giant hug. Talk to you later. Bye.